Hi. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you've never been here before. So today we are going to be talking about the newest Alien movie that just came out, Alien Romulus. Now, for a little bit of background, I have only seen the first two original Alien movies. Alien, that came out in '78, and Aliens, that came out in like '81. And those videos are both on my channel if you want to check that out. So luckily I didn't have to know too much in order to watch this one, because this movie, Alien Romulus, is taking place in between Alien and Aliens. So if you don't know the premise for this movie, according to Letterboxd, while scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station, a group of young space colonizers come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. I think that description it really holds up to how the movie went, I'll just say that much. Like I said, I've only seen the first two Alien movies, and you know, I'm not really gonna hold back, and I said it in those videos as well. They're not my favorite horror movies, horror franchise. They're just not up my alley. Honestly, I think space movies are just not my thing, and that's okay. I don't know, maybe not all space movies are alike, but I just found the first two Alien movies to be really slow and boring, and that can kind of be a testament of the time as well. I mean, a lot of 70s and early 80s, like 70s type of movies have that feeling for me where it's just kind of slow. And for this franchise, you know, you're in space, it's supposed to be kind of slow and quiet and not a lot of stuff going on. And I get that's the setting of it, right? We're in space. So I was looking forward to seeing this one because it's a little more of a modern adaptation, I guess, still taking place around the same time period of, you know, the first two Alien movies. So I figured I would enjoy it because modern movies cater more to people with shorter attention spans, I guess I will say. Everything's really quick, go, 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 and easy to understand, easy to catch up. So that was something that I couldn't really vibe with the first two Alien movies, is I just felt like they were really long. Like the runtime, I really did feel it. And for this one was also, I mean, it wasn't very long. It's 119 minutes. I'll probably put up what that actually means because I don't want to do the math for that right now. But towards the end, I started to feel like, okay, this is still going on. So that kind of brought my scoring down just a little bit. Some of the dialogue in this movie is a little cheesy, I guess I should say. Some things they say, I feel like they kind of just say it so they can put it in the trailer. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really have the effect that they want to in the actual scene where it's playing out. I feel like they just said it because they want to have something cool said for the trailer. Now, in terms of like scare, I thought that this one was very scary. Compared to the first one, I mean, the alien, the xenomorph, it looks fucking terrifying. And if you don't think so, your opinion's wrong. All right, that thing is horrific in every way, shape, and form. So for this one, they really amped that up to like a 10. And I feel like I really like the characters in this one as well. That was something that was really helpful for me to, I don't know, feel a little more connected, I guess. I don't want to keep comparing it to the first one, but that was kind of another fault in the first one for me as well, in the 70s one, because the only person I really cared about was Sigourney Weaver, and that's the only person that really mattered. I will say there is some CGI, I guess I should say, that looks a little questionable. Not for anything to do with the aliens, anything to do with the xenomorph. I don't want to give anything away, just there's something in there that uses CGI and it's kind of weird. I do appreciate the practical effects that they do incorporate in this, and I do love the tension that they really create in this as well. Now, something that the Alien franchise does really well, and I went to go see this movie with my cousins, and one of my cousins says that the Alien franchise really does a good job with creating tension, especially with like those long ass scenes. I mean, like I said, time and place, time and place. Maybe I just didn't watch the first Alien movie in the right time and place in my life. I don't know, but that's something that's very common throughout this franchise, right? It's really quiet and we're kind of building up to something. Okay, don't say anything. Like it's right here. And they did that in this movie as well. And I swear you could hear a pin drop in the movie theater. Everyone was holding their breath. Everybody was just trying to be as quiet as they possibly can for like this whole long scene. And I do like when they make it completely like no noise at all, like dead noise, nothing going on, especially for a space movie, right? I feel like that's kind of important. I feel like movies sometimes they don't want to make it like completely silent. They'll have like that little screeching, like high pitch, like kind of slowly building up. I'm like, no, I don't need it. Just dead silence, please. So that's what this movie did. So out of 5 stars, I gave this 4 stars, and out of 10, I gave this 8 stars. The only thing, like I said, I'm docking it points for was I started to feel the runtime only towards the like last part of the movie. There's like one last little bam, but I really do say like they really do save it for what happens in that last part. I mean, it could have just been like, okay, another attack scene with another alien. Oh my gosh. Like, yes, that happens, but like it is amped up a lot more. And I really liked the conciseness of this. I really like how concise it was because, like I said earlier, I really feel like you could just watch this movie like on its own. Like, yes, you could watch the first movie and then watch this one. I don't think it's super necessary unless you want to understand like maybe some little here and there things that they kind of throw at you, maybe like them finding something in the background of the ship, like things like that. If you want to catch up and pick up those things, then you can watch the first one. I feel like this is a pretty good standalone as well, though. I mean, there is something in there that's kind of important that is throughout the whole movie that is from the first movie. So, like I said, don't want to give that away. I mean, since I have seen the first one, I personally liked picking up on those little things. Yeah, so I am only docking it because of the dialogue could be a little cheesy. It's not like the biggest deal in the world that the dialogue was kind of cheesy, but I am gonna dock it just a little bit. It's one of those things, like for me, for a movie to be a 10 out of 10, I'd have to sit on it for a while. And I think the highest compliment I can give a movie is it rewatchable? And this movie is very rewatchable in my opinion. So 8 or 9 out of 10. It's not a perfect movie. They do create the tension so well. There's some badass scenes in here that I just really appreciated what they did. I really appreciate the special effects that they did. You know, the actual creating the xenomorph, and it's not just CGI. You know, that's something that could be an issue with newer movies nowadays. They just really rely on animating it instead of doing practical special effects. So I did appreciate that, and the callbacks to the original Alien movies as well. It was one of those things where like some of the decisions that some of the characters make, I was like, ugh. But that's in every movie. I mean, you know, they gotta have a dumb character like that so that we can increase the tension. You know what I mean? I wasn't really surprised. It was just kind of one of those things where I was like, really? Are we doing this? It's a small thing. The only thing I was kind of docking it to was I kind of felt the runtime just a little bit. I didn't really think about how long the movie was until the last part of it, and then another whole ass scene happens, and I was like, oh, okay. Kind of thought it was gonna, like, the ending, I like what they added, don't get me wrong. I just think that it also would have been really cool if they left it a little ambiguous, because there's no doubt in my mind that they'll probably make another Alien movie, let's be real. They could have made it around something that happens in the last part of this movie instead of showing us what happens. That's just my opinion. Or I wish that they took like a bigger risk in terms of like the characters of who dies, because it's an alien and it's space. I feel like no one should be getting out alive. That's just me. I feel like if something major like that happened in the last half of this movie, then that would have really bumped up my score too, because like I said, unless we're going to continue on with these characters, there's no point in anyone being alive. But with that said and done, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons, and especially Mark Sylvester, James Cox, and E. Thank you so much, and make sure to go ahead and check out my Patreon if you haven't already. Okay, so what did you guys think about this movie? If you've seen it already, do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it was just okay? How do you feel about it in terms of like the Alien franchise? Like I said, I've only seen the first 2 Alien movies, and this one kind of, I guess, in the intended way. I didn't really expect to just so happen to watch this movie in the way that it was kind of intended to, with it being, you know, the in-between Alien 1.5 movie, basically. But that's just how it worked out. So I'm kind of glad that that is how I got to experience this movie. I personally really liked it. Once again, 4 out of 5 stars, 8 out of 10. But let me know what you guys think about this movie. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of that jazz. And as always, thanks for watching.